Hey guys, so I have just recently moved to a new apartment. If you can't tell, it's pretty empty and everything. But I thought I would share with you the moving process for moving into a new apartment in Tokyo because it is a little bit different than you would normally find in another country. So I will give you all of the details for that. So when I was moving, I decided to find a English-speaking real estate agency to work with because it would just make the whole process a lot easier and they would be able to help me with a lot of things. So I found an English-speaking real estate agency, then they really helped me out, and I will try and leave some links below for where you can go to get started with that. But when you're getting an apartment, first you have to go to the real estate agency, tell them like your budget, everything, like your move-in budget plus your monthly budget, because moving into the apartment is going to be very expensive. And then you want to tell them what area, what station, which lines you want to be near for the trains. Those are pretty much the most important factors when moving. So I knew I wanted to be along the Chuo line, and so I went to many different apartments along the Chuo line, and they have you go in, look around, see if you like it. You kind of have to decide really quickly because other people are looking at the same apartments and there's only one of a kind. Each apartment can be owned by a different owner in a building. It's not just like a building owning all of the apartments sometimes. So, especially in my case, I had to decide very quickly if I wanted this apartment or not because other people were looking at it, and so I needed to be like, yes, I want that one. So once I decided to go ahead and rent this apartment, I needed to go in and I needed to pay lots of different things. So the many different things that you need to pay for when you are renting an apartment in Japan are you need to pay first month's rent, you need a deposit, which is usually the amount of first month's rent, and most likely you will not get back, so don't expect to get that back. There's also something called key money. Key money is essentially a gift to the owner, saying, thank you for letting me live here. Don't know if I agree with such a situation, but it is what it is. So you have to pay for your house insurance, which will cover flooding, fires, theft, things like that. Usually doesn't cover earthquakes because those are too common and the insurance companies don't want to cover that. And then you have to pay your real estate agent fee also, which is often the same amount as 1 month's rent. The final thing that's a little bit different is because you're living in another country as a foreigner, you're going to need a guarantor company to like co-sign your apartment for you. And so if you become unwell or if you suddenly decide to leave without paying your rent, the guarantor company is responsible for paying for your apartment. So you have to pay that fee also. So many different fees when you are moving. Okay, so you have decided to move, you have paid all of the fees, so now what do you do? What is the moving process? So if you're moving from one apartment in Tokyo to another, you can hire a moving company to help you. There are several English-speaking ones and cheaper Japanese ones. I'll link those down below also, but they can get pretty expensive, especially if they're charging by item, by weight, by size, all those kinds of things, by distance that they're moving. But if it is within your budget, you can go ahead and use those companies. They're very reliable and they will help bring everything actually into the apartment if you so choose. So there are many different kinds of apartments you can get. You can get like a share house, you can get a single room, you can get all these different things, furnished, unfurnished. But if you do get unfurnished, which is kind of the most common, it might come with a built-in stove. Mine has one burner. And so I have one burner to cook with, but that's okay. And nothing else. So there's no refrigerator, no microwave, no washing machine, of course no dryer. There's no dryers anywhere here. So you have to find those things yourself and have them shipped to your apartment. So I actually found many things on Craigslist in the past and this time also. So I highly recommend using Craigslist as a resource. So on the day that you actually move, you're going to have to go to your management company to get your key. So I already did that and I went there this morning. So I'm getting the key from my management company and I have to sign a couple more things. So hopefully it doesn't take too long because I need to be back the apartment to like unlock it and let in people who are shipping things and like setting up guests and stuff like that. After that, you can actually get into your apartment and start moving, and there are a couple things that you have to do as soon as you get in to the apartment. So the last and probably the most important thing that you really need to do when you move in, like right away, is to look around and find all of the damaged spots that you can find. So if there's any damage anywhere in the apartment, you need, like this is painted over, you need to write it down and send it to your management company. Because when you move out, if you don't have like that form filled out and sent to the management company, they will charge you for those damages, and they might actually charge you more than your deposit, so you might have to pay more, and like I said, you're never gonna get that deposit back, so don't even think about that. That's gone. But you don't want to have to pay more than you actually damaged, so be careful with that and make sure you do that right away. I took pictures just because I don't want to risk it, so I took pictures and I'm gonna write out the form and send it to my management company. So those are the basics of moving in Japan. It's kind of complicated, but once you get the hang of it, and if you have help from Japanese friends or people who've done it before, it's not a big deal. You'll be okay, I promise. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it down below. And if you want to see my whole moving experience, it's going to be on my daily vlog channel, which is linked down below. So thank you for watching, guys, and bye. Onigiri wrapped in meat, which you can just, they're selling at a stand, and then karage don, which is fried chicken on rice.